jerky. No barbecue required. Wilhauk is ready to eat before we head to our seats.
Bring it to your next football tailgate.
Wilhauk beef jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.
No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Ride for Dad is back. Join Sports 1440 as we help raise funds and awareness for the fight against prostate cancer. The ride starts Saturday, June 13th at Blackjack's Roadhouse. Register online at ridefordad.ca and find more info at sports1440.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
What's it like to score a winning deal at Car West Leduc? Like raising the cup in your hometown on your birthday. Feel it now at Car West Leduc. Experience a vast, uncompromising selection of top-quality used vehicles with no extra fees. Trucks, sedans, vans, SUVs, and more. Backed by family-run service and top dealer ratings on Google. So when the final siren goes, you go home with a deal you'll never forget. Car West Leduc, 6514 Sparrow Drive, Leduc, or at carwestautosales.com.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings on new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickups and all remaining 2025 terrain SUVs. WolfGMCBuick.com. On the show today, the Vegas Golden Knights are on to the final. Does that mean Vegas management can check emails and allow Bruce Cassidy to interview with anybody? You know, the local KFC, plus Elks at Clark Stadium. Do you remember when George McGowan used to play there? Well, I do. Going to be a wild experience on Friday night. The Lowdown with Lowetide is brought to you by Wolf GMC, as you know. We're on Sports 1440 and YouTube, as you know. Our headliner of the day, Eddie Steele, at 1240 to talk about those Elks and maybe the olden days. And also we'll have Kevin McCurdy at 1 o'clock today. We're live on sports1440.ca, iHeartRadio, and Radio Player Canada. If you can't get to YouTube or the, radio. After the show, Apple and Spotify podcasts. Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, and at Donovan Paulson. And we can't say that Declan Krueger anymore, even though I just did, because he's in Italy or France. He probably got it wrong. He's probably in France. And Jay Fenwick 04. Forgot to mention Josh. Lots to talk about today. Vegas is through. Were we all too hard on the Oilers after watching the Avs go out? I don't think so, but we can talk about it. And I've got a big question for the two gentlemen who are my cohorts and colleagues for today's show. We'll see how it goes, maybe tomorrow too. He knows movies, music, sports, and how to run down co-workers in the parking lot. Ladies and gentlemen, he seems nice. Josh Fenwick, everybody. Josh Fenwick.
Yep. Hi, good afternoon. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. While I have the mic in a free second here, I just have to say happy birthday to my girlfriend. She turns 22 today.
Oh, boy.
She's probably not listening, but just in case she is,
It's always a good idea.
I'll see you on Friday.
All right. Beautifully done. Somebody will tell her that you did the good deed. Now, is she older or younger than you?
She's younger than me by a month and a half.
Oh, that's not much. So you did good. That's fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Just keep doing that. That's fine. Just stay a month and a half ahead of her for the rest of your life. It'll be fine.
Noted.
All right. I'm always afraid to say something because, I think you might turn on me and come over here and rain down blows on me.
Me?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Donovan.
No.
That was the beginning of his intro.
He is secretly afraid one of our texters will make a good point he'll have to agree with, but so far, so good. It hasn't happened. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Donovan Paulson, everybody. Donovan Paulson.
Yeah, that is true. I am secretly worried that I'm going to have to acknowledge that, that there's some maybe listeners that are so much smarter than myself. That's a great fear of mine.
I have a big question for you guys I want to ask, and then I also want to talk about Bruce Cassidy. So which would you like first? The big question that's going to have to require your brain parts, or just talking about Cassidy?
Let's ease us in here. Let's ease us in with Bruce Cassidy.
Okay.
Give us the softball.
Okay, sounds good. So what are the odds that they got time here before the final starts? Surely to God they can check their emails. What are the odds they let at least some teams talk to Bruce Cassidy, moving forward as we get closer to the draft and needing to sign somebody? Do you think this is a fait accompli now that Cassidy will just have to sit on the sidelines for 1 year, or do you think this might come to fruition in the next few days?
Well, at this point, I think they might just wait till the Cup final's over. I'll say that, but I'll also say, what if Vegas does the scummy thing here and says, hey, you know what, Toronto, you're good. You're good. You can feel free. You know what? Bruce is there for you. You can take Bruce. Edmonton, nah. LA, nah. I can see Vegas still doing that and giving Toronto permission, giving Vancouver, whoever else wants to interview the guy, and just kind of sticking it to the two teams who are still competitive in their division.
Yeah.
It's the evil thing to do. It's the thing that Bruce Cassidy probably fears most right now. But if you're Vegas, why change your tune at this point?
Well, yeah, you're the dink, you're the outsider, you're the hardball team, you're the Stampede Wrestling of the NHL. Why stop now, Josh?
Is scummy? Sure. I think their email notifications will only continue to go up through the finals. I don't think they're going and checking their emails. Yeah, but also the deal's the deal. I also. Okay. Oh, Bruce, they give the Leafs permission. Oh, yeah, you can interview Bruce Cassidy. He's under no obligation to take that job.
No, he won't go there.
They can ask for permission, and the Knights can say yes, but he doesn't have to go to that meeting. He doesn't have to do whatever.
No.
If he just wants to wait out this last year because the Knights won't give him permission, then that's what he's going to do.
Keep in mind, though, Ontario guy.
Yeah,
you can never overlook that.
Come on, they have so many problems, and look, Toronto might be a great place. I know a lot of people are thinking that Jake is not going to be able to do the job. Maybe that's true, but I wouldn't go in there now. It's a hornet's nest. You might be going in there to watch Austin Matthews get traded.
Nice.
You might be. You might be in there to go and watch the end of William Nylander as a Toronto Maple Leaf. You're going to be watching the retirement ceremony for John Tavares. But I don't know,
unless you can bring back Johnny Bauer at 30, I wouldn't go there.
It wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't either. But there have been weirder moves. No?
Oh, yes. Many weirder moves.
Sometimes some people make weird decisions, and I'm not ruling out the Leafs. I know, especially if they don't give permission to Edmonton or LA. I think we all look at Edmonton and LA as the clubhouse leaders, assuming they get permission.
It's Edmonton.
Oh, well, yeah.
Edmonton has the best chance to win the Stanley Cup. These guys, Edmonton will be a first choice because they got the best chance. Laviolette will come to Edmonton if they want to hire him. If not, he'll go to the next team. Laviolette's, what's his shelf life? 3 years?
Yeah, probably.
And I don't know that Cassidy will probably rent. You know, there's a nice suite down at the Hotel Mac. Anyway, they want to win a Stanley Cup. They're more interested than fans in winning a Stanley Cup. It's their legacy. So we'll see. All right, here's a tough question. Are you ready? I've been thinking about this because I'm reading so many differing views of what people think is going to be like the price tag. I think he was safe. Here's the deal. Let's say I call you. It'll be a day you don't expect. It'll be Saturday afternoon. And you're like, why the hell is Lowetide calling me? You know, has he picked up a second job? Is he trying to sell me something? Scam guy? What the hell? And I say, the Oilers just traded Darnell Nurse. What do you think would come back?
That's a great question now.
That's why I gave you time.
The first thing that comes to mind is probably like it all depends on salary retention, right? I think we would both agree. If the Oilers are retaining some salary,
you get a better piece.
You would get a better piece.
Right.
But there's also the option of if the Oilers are taking back a contract, then you might also get a little bit better of a piece. Like if the Oilers are taking back Morgan Riley and it's a 1-for-1, I think that's probably the most realistic deal. But I wouldn't do that personally. So if they are dealing him, I feel like this is just kind of like a draft pick situation.
So Nurse for picks, but would the Oilers retain on that? I guess the quality of the picks would be higher.
Depends on the quality,
Right.
the quality of picks they want.
Right. That's fair. What about you, Josh?
I'd probably lean more towards the draft picks and like good draft picks. But I can tell you, I know sure as hell what's not coming back. Colin Graff. Who the hell started this rumor?
Was there a Colin Graff rumor about
someone put something out about like, oh, like this is a theoretical trade of trade Darnell Nurse to the Sharks and you'll get Colin Graff back. I saw Colin Graff as a buy low target today. I was like, are you kidding me? Like that's a sell high. Did you know the season Colin Graff had, particularly that second half?
I don't hate Colin Graff, but if you're trading Darnell Nurse for me, like let's just run through the free agent.
What about
defense.
Nurse for Colin Firth? Would that be okay?
We get a best actor win.
Sure.
That's valuable.
Yeah.
On the ice? Not really.
No, not
basketball
really,
court,
but it
absolutely.
brings morale. No, in all seriousness, if you're moving Darnell Nurse, you have to look at what the free agent defensemen are and then go from there. Because to me, the guy who I would target free agent wise would be Jamie Alexiak. But is Jamie Alexiak a number 4 defenseman? I don't think he is. I think he's a number 5. And you can look at his minutes in Seattle. They're not particularly high. I think he was a 16-minute player in Seattle. And man, if you're not playing more than 16 on Seattle, I know there was the same argument about Connor Murphy with the Blackhawks, but that was a bit of a different situation where the Blackhawks were trying to bring in, a ton of young players all onto the blue line at the same time. So they wanted to limit Murphy's minutes and give those other guys, time to grow and stuff like that. But to me, I would want a defenseman back, but I'm just not sold you're going to get the defenseman that'll really make it worth it.
What about a Nurse for picks and then the picks plus whatever else it takes for Kyrou?
I like Jordan Kyrou a ton, but then you have to replace the defense.
You're going to ask Wallman to play second pair.
I don't hate that, but
I'm saying it's not. This is not ideal, but this is what you might have to do.
Can you count on Jake Wallman to stay healthy?
No.
I don't think you can. So you have to then pick up a defenseman who is capable of being a really, really good number 5 who can moonlight as a 4.
I have a name for that. Brett Kulak.
Okay, so then we're getting Kyrou and Kulak.
But will Kulak come back? I don't think he will.
Well, they
screwed him. So
they not only did they screw him, they sent him. He got lucky, not really, but he did get lucky in the trade to Colorado. But they sent him to an outlier team.
He should feel grateful. I mean, he got to play with Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, and Nathan McKinnon all in the same season.
Not bad.
A season that most people will never experience in a career.
Okay, we're going to talk lots about the Carolina and the Habs and the Vegas Golden Knights are through. But I want to do this because I'm just so interested in your guys' reaction to this. I follow a guy named Chris Towers, a great baseball fantasy writer for CBS, but he noted something that I'm not a basketball nut like you are, Josh, and I don't know what kind of nuttiness our friend over here is in terms of basketball.
Just the vanilla kind.
Okay, like me, or a little more knowledgeable about the current game, but he doesn't know, about Magic. So this is Chris Towers, baseball guy, but this is about SGA. Okay. He said, the thing I've been trying to articulate while watching these NBA playoffs, SGA is obviously an incredible player, but even beyond the flopping stuff, which doesn't bother me that much, I think he's just one of the least compelling, best players in the league guys I've ever seen. Number one, do you agree with that?
Well, Canadian bias, I would say no. I think there's something to be said about how many free throws he attempts per game, or like in big spots, how many free throws get thrown. But also, everyone was really enamored by Dwayne Wade, and everyone was really enamored by James Harden. Like, these are other guys that shot a lot of free throws. Kobe Bryant shot a lot of free throws. I think people wish that when it came down to the later ends of the game, he was a guy that didn't try to go for the foul and get to the line, and was rather like shooting some more fadeaway shots, which he still does. But it does feel like at times he relies on being able to get to the line at times, just because it's a bona fide 2 points. That's just the way it is. But I still think he's very compelling. I think maybe the fact that he plays on the Thunder isn't very compelling, because they still have a bajillion picks between now and the time that my grandkids were going to be my age.
Right.
So maybe that works against him, but I still find the whole thing very compelling because he is so incredibly efficient and good at what he does.
What about you? Any thoughts on this young Donovan?
I'm going to be a disappointment here, but not overly. I mean, Josh kind of summed it up pretty well there. And my NBA rap sheet isn't exactly the most full.
Same as me. So the next question I have is, if that's the case, if Towers is expressing what people, believe, 60% of people believe, say, then what do you want? Do you want the championships? Or do you want, it's possible to be a superstar and be dull, right? We've seen that. But if you're a superstar and dull and you win Stanley Cups, would you rather have that than Connor McDavid?
From a media and fan perspective?
Or from a fan perspective. I don't care about the media.
If you're a fan in the market, obviously you'd rather have the Cups. I don't think you care. I think fans on a wider scale want more of a guy like Victor Wembanyama. I very much am a Victor Wembanyama is the best player to ever pick up a basketball guy right now, because he is just based on everything, but also the way that he talks to the media and the way he talks to his team and talks about the game. And he has this killer competitive instinct of guys like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Is like, I'm not taking games off. I'm here to play. I love basketball. And sometimes I feel like there's a lot of superstars in the league that they do love basketball, but they don't articulate it as much, whereas a guy like Victor Wembanyama does.
Well, see, my greater point is this, that if you're saying that, SGA is a great player, a little dull, but the championships are important, I understand that. But and I'm going to turn a little bit, but if you are saying Connor McDavid is not going to be a success or is somehow going to be lacking if he never wins a Stanley Cup, I do reject that. Winning the Stanley Cup is a team effort. Connor McDavid as an individual player is bona fide, brilliant, inner circle Hall of Fame. There's no higher level that Connor McDavid could reach, certainly in his own time, but of all time. And the cup is nice, but it doesn't keep me from saying he's an all-time great.
There is a slight difference in that between the NBA and NHL, though, because the NHL, you can have all the individual accolades and you could never win a Stanley Cup because winning a Stanley Cup is so team-oriented. Whereas in the NBA, you have one guy on your team, he could win you a championship. You need help from other people.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
the individual player has more impact on an NBA.
Individual player can play 48 minutes a night and outscore the minutes he plays, and that swings how much of the game goes on, as well as grabbing rebounds and getting blocks and steals, all these other things that, there's takeaways and blocks in the NHL, but you just don't score as much.
Right. Thoughts on this? My comments about Connor McDavid, Donovan?
Yeah, I mean, Josh summed that up really well once again. I was going to ask, this is kind of a question for you, Josh. Is it fair to say that SGA is maybe the most boring superstar in sports, whether it's his comments, whether it's his actual pure play? Like, he's just not exciting in anything.
Gretzky was not a great commentator. Like on the game, he talked about it, but he wasn't an exciting guy to talk to.
It's a good question. I would still say no, because I think a lot of what he does is very exciting, but he is a lot more introverted. Like, I don't find Austin Matthews particularly interesting, particularly on a season like this.
So his commercials are
he
dynamite.
Doesn't score. He's the captain of a franchise, and he's not doing media and all these things. Like, there's not a lot of sauce there as the way it is. Or I don't know. I don't think there's really a guy in the NFL that's like that, but I'm sure we could find one.
Yeah.
That I'm not trying to rattle off the top of my brain.
Hey, by the way, Olsen won the Emmy, right?
Who?
Over Brady?
That probably would be correct, because Olsen is literally the best.
That's what, like, everybody's like, well, they're shocked because Brady's the number one, but Olsen's better.
Yeah, but Olsen is the better one. Yeah. But Tom Brady, would you rather have Tom Brady, the GOAT, or Greg Olsen, former Carolina Panthers tight end?
Right. Well, one is the football field and the other is the booth.
It's true. Yeah. And I would rather have Greg Olsen because he is so well versed behind a mic, and he articulates his intelligence so well. Brady took a big step this year, but yeah. I'm a Greg Olsen truther.
CB Radio guy says the best thing I believe now that could happen to the Edmonton Oilers is Connor McDavid gets traded. Okay. Interesting. I wrote about that in my Athletic article today, by the way. There's a little tease for you. Okay, on the way, it's the real man of steel. I mean, he's not Remington Steele. He's even better. He's Eddie Steele at 12:40. At 1 o'clock today is Kevin McCurdy. We'll talk about Darnell Nurse and the Edmonton Oilers coaching situation as well. And we have Donovan Nations at 1:40. What have you got for us today, sir?
You know, I think I might let Josh rip here a little bit on his ball. Give us this segment.
Okay, we're talking NBA.
A little bit more over to Josh for some NBA playoff talk, and
right.
You know, I might ask him some questions and give him some room to shine.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear him talk about the Knicks and what's happening in New York right now, because that city never sleeps, and right now it's one big party. On the way, we're going to do the rumors thing. There's lots going on with the Oilers, a few things with the Blue Jays. We'll talk CFL too as we preview what we'll be talking to Eddie about straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap. It starts with you locking in your season seats. This is Edmonton Elks football. The only way to experience it is being there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. The Elks home opener kicks off June 20th against Montreal. Your season seats are your way in. Get yours now at goelks.com/season seats. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com and we'll see you out there.
To the guy who said, I'll marinate the chicken, then forgot. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. We've got you covered with a variety of freshly prepared kebabs, ranging from chicken to beef and pork. They even come pre-marinated, so all that's left is pretending you made it yourself. And they're on sale this week. For more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Variety may vary by store. See flyer for details.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings right now at wolfgmcbuick.com. What a great song on a great day. It's a nice warm day. I don't know that you ever do this, but back in the olden days, back when there was no law and we were the Wild West, I'd get out on the white mud and I'd play White Room on my 8-track and probably go a little faster than I should have. Do you young people do that, or are you worried about gas and guacamole?
I do that, yes. Okay. But my driving song is Runaway by Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's a great song.
I love that song.
Yeah. I have my guilty pleasure is Dirty Deeds by AC/DC.
Yep.
The one that I will never tell people that I will sing along with, and I sing terribly, but I've been caught at intersections singing loudly with it playing loudly, is No Woman, No Cry by Bob Marley and the Wailers. And it's like you're like, why are you playing it so loud? And why are you singing it so loud? But it's a great song.
That is a great song.
Yeah. Walk of Life, good by Dire Straits as well. And anything by the Stones up to and including Bitch, which is a great horn song. All right, it is time for Rumors, brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton. It's riding season, and Harley Davidson of Edmonton has your next bike waiting. Huge selection of new and pre-owned, plus test rides available, locally owned and operated since 1980 on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com. Okay, so a few things to talk about. The Edmonton Oilers are in limbo right now, but with Vegas winning and going to the Stanley Cup, perhaps there'll be some kind of easing in terms of the situation with Bruce Cassidy being able to talk to other NHL teams. I'm not expecting it, but it would be nice to see, and we'll keep you updated as time goes on. According to Joe Smith at The Athletic, Vladimir Tarasenko was a player the Minnesota Wild loved having on their team, but it's questionable whether they will return him. Now, Tarasenko is an interesting guy. He is 34. It's another older player. He was drafted in 2010. He's had a long career, 327 goals, but he scored 23 this past year in 75 games with the Wild. He played 11 playoff games, scored a couple of times, 5 points. And I will ask you, because everybody else has abandoned the building, but I will ask you, young Donovan, is Vladimir Tarasenko a player that you would, if the Oilers were interested, would you think, hey, that's something maybe you could get behind?
I could absolutely get behind that. I've been a Tarasenko fanboy. I have his jersey at home. Actually.
Oh, nice.
I love Vladdy Tarasenko. He was my favorite player to watch growing up. I always gravitated towards the shooters. So, I mean, this isn't a bias point. I mean, anybody who scores 23 goals, I would be fairly interested in. And I mean, you look at his minutes, and it's just under 15 a night last year. So, if you're getting that production out of a guy who you can play 14 minutes and change, I'm pretty interested. 5 goals on the power play, so only PP2 time. And in Edmonton, we know that there's not going to be a ton of power play opportunity. He did have 13 power play points, so it's not all 5-on-5 production, but I would have some interest. Would he be my prime target? No.
Okay, that's all fair. Vegas Golden Knights defeated Colorado Avalanche, and afterwards there's always the injury updates, and we'll get that. We know that McKinnon, Makar, a bunch of other guys were injured. We don't know how badly. We will find that out. I'm assuming that there was some kind of sight problem for the goaltenders in Colorado. That seemed to be an issue as well. But I talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but I want to just go around the table if we can now. With how things have rolled out, with losing to Anaheim early and now seeing Colorado just having no answer for Vegas. They're a better team than this. They just didn't have anything left. Do you think media, I'm not going to criticize fans because fans are fans, they can do whatever they want, but do you think media maybe overreacted to Edmonton's quick exit and looked past legitimate injuries to really their top players? Because Bouchard wasn't right either.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Greg's when he said this, but he said he was chatting with a player on the team, and the player said that he felt that the Oilers themselves overreacted with the whole, Knoblauch situation and the whole early exit thing. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that the Oilers and the fan base overreacted a little bit. Anytime you have your top 4 centers all injured, now granted 3 of them were playing, you're probably going to be suffering a little bit. And especially when those centers are your best players. And in Jason Dickinson's case, he was your best defensive forward. Like it's valid to be frustrated and disappointed with the Oilers season. But I think you have to at least acknowledge that the injuries definitely played a huge part in their loss to Anaheim. Am I saying without injuries they would have won that series 100%? No. But I am saying that it for sure played a factor because, frankly, Connor McDavid was the worst player in the series.
He didn't play well. That's true. Josh?
Yeah, I'll say we as the media did maybe overreact to the loss in the playoffs, no doubt. But I think that was a lot more built up frustration from the entirety of the season as a whole. And that felt like the culmination.
Very good point.
And not it's not like they walked through everybody like Colorado did. And then the playoffs come around and they drop the ball. I mean, Colorado still won 2 series and then whatever just happened. But like, it was a messy season for the Oilers. And then for it to end that way for the first little while, it was like, not pulling any punches. This was a catastrophe of a season. Like Connor McDavid has X amount of term left on his deal. Like this is all so bad, which at the time seems valid. But when you look at it from 10,000 feet up, then you're like, maybe at that moment it was a touch of an overreaction, but I still don't think it makes up for the season as a whole.
Right. That's all fair. So I think that we can establish now that Stan Bowman is going to be the general manager of record for the 26-27 team. As we move forward and get into like springtime, and we don't know what's going to happen. We know there'll be buyers at the deadline, right? I think there'll be buyers at the deadline. So, but if they get to a pressure point in the season ends in a disappointing fashion again, and the specter, my apologies to Mark, I don't mean to mention him using the other word, specter of McDavid leaving rises. And they've had 2 disappointing seasons in a row. How secure do you think Stan Bowman's job is at that point in time in the spring of 2027?
Not secure at all.
No.
If he's we know he's going to be the GM of record. If there's another disappointing season this coming year, I think that's the end for Stan Bowman.
So my follow-up to that, sir, is where do you think Paul Coffey lands in this organization's depth chart? When you go to edmontonoilers.com and you're looking at all the hockey ops people, where, like right now, he's an advisor to the owner. So I think he's like at the page one, the top order. Where does he land?
Does he take Jeff Jackson's job?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I think that's
where he lands. To me.
I think if we're looking at an ascension here, it's Paul Coffey. And then next spring, I don't know when that happens, but next spring, Coffey would be technically above Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That means that Cates trusts Coffey more than anybody in the organization, should that happen.
Is that not already proven?
Well, I mean, I think you can make the case, but Bowman's still GM, and he's making the day-to-day. You know, the decision to fire the coach may have been the owner. We don't know. But the decision to trade Darnell Nurse will be Stan Bowman.
Yeah. I mean, Stan Bowman, until proven otherwise, like, he still made some good moves. I think you still have to give the guy some credit. It can't all be terrible. Like, there's been some really terrible moves. Don't get me wrong, but I think you still gotta be patient here and see what happens this season. If next year's disappointing, Jeff Jackson, it's goodbye. Stan Bowman, it's goodbye. And it is hope and pray that you can find a way to keep Connor McDavid, because I'd be surprised if they moved him in the offseason if they have a disappointing year.
Right. I think that's fair. Josh, Victor Wembanyama skipped the media session after Game 5. Will a second-round pick and $100,000 be going to the league?
No, they already released. He was issued a warning. He was not issued a fine or anything of the such. Hey, man, you got to go do your media. It's the way it is. You're the best player on the team. You're de facto captain. Although I think Harrison Barnes is probably the official captain on the team, you got to go and you got to face the music to your 4-15 shooting night.
Yeah, it's pretty well. Anything in the NFL that's football related, I don't want to go into the off season related because I know Josh Jacobs' situation. Do you want to talk about that quickly before we move on?
We can go to Derwin James, highest paid safety again.
Okay.
Connor's boy. Connor was very excited yesterday. I mean, rightfully so. Derwin James gets the bag again. Connor, it's like the bat signal. You mentioned Derwin James and Connor Halley just appears out of nowhere.
That was good.
That was perfect.
Do you guys notice what I do when I come by that front door?
Yeah, I do every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
But I mean, Josh, like, Derwin James is a legit player. It's basically, I know it is a 3-year deal, but that's like a 2-year deal with the third year probably being cut year, if we're being honest, because he's going to be 30 this year. Other news, you saw Nico Collins get a little bit of a pay raise on his 2 years. I think it was $9 million this year and $8 million the year after, something like that. So there is NFL news trickling in. It's largely the big players right now getting their pay raises or their extensions. And then also the big player off the field who did some things.
We basically had this conversation yesterday, and then you can just replace certain people's names and put in Josh Jacobs.
Different situation, but
the same sentiment stands.
Yeah, and it's more common. I'm sorry, but it's more common than it was 50 years ago or 40 years ago or 30 years ago or 20 years ago.
Anytime there's 5 charges brought against your name and then those charges mysteriously disappear the next day, it makes you kind of question, was there some money being paid to a certain somebody?
Well, there's interesting, storylines following that, and we will obviously follow that story. What's the earliest CFL memory either of you have? You don't both have to answer if you don't have one, but What I remember a guy named Larry Robinson kicking a field goal in 71 for the Calgary Stampeders to win the Grey Cup. And I talked to Herm Harrison, who was a dear friend of mine before he passed. He was on that team and he remembered it. He gave me all the details of that game. That's 71. I know you guys wouldn't remember something from 71.
I wasn't even liquid yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably couldn't tell you what year it was. It's probably like 2012 or so, maybe a touch later than that. My family had season tickets. And so once a year ish for each of the kids, like we would get to go with either my mom or dad instead of mom and dad going together.
Right.
So that was always very exciting. And then this year we had decided to shell out and get 2 more tickets, like right behind where our season seats were.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting with my dad and my sister was sitting with my mom, and it was cold. It was a late night game. It was raining. I guess Mike Riley probably would have been the quarterback at the time.
So it was a good game.
It was a good game. Could I tell you the outcome? No. But I do remember getting mini donuts, and I was absolutely pressing for mini donuts. I wanted them so bad.
And the good thing is your energy level went straight down after you got those donuts.
Exactly. And so, but my dad, I was so upset because, like, you sit with dad, you get a pop and you get a snack or whatever.
Yeah.
My sister's up there. She's eating cotton candy. She's getting mini donuts. She gets a second pop, and she's 2 years younger than me. I'm like, what the horsey sauce is going on here? So, yes, that's my earliest one. Is probably like 2012-ish, right around there.
All right. Very quickly, do you have one, Donovan?
Yes, I do. My earliest one, I couldn't tell you the year on it, to be honest, because I was a younger kid. But much like Josh, it was my first game. I went with one of my best friends growing up. His parents had she was a higher up at a bank or whatever, so she had tickets for the whole family, and so I got to tag along with them, and that was my first ever CFL game. I got to watch Mike Riley fling the ball around.
Nice.
And and then that was just kind of the whole experience. The mini donuts, it's very similar to Josh's, but like Mike Riley was the QB for most of my childhood memories of the CFL.
Okay. Look forward to talking to Eddie Steele about it. I wonder if mini donuts will come up in the conversation. We'll talk to Eddie about the big game this weekend at Clark Stadium as the Edmonton Elks continue their preseason. Eddie Steele straight ahead. We have Kevin McCurdy at 1 o'clock. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
I'm good to go. Good to go.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Jason Krueger isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder.
with over 3 million raised for local charities.
And his Krueger Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Krueger weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
High sticking and breaking down the middle. Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings at wolfgmcbuick.com. It is time for our headliner of the day at 1244, brought to you by Faber, Faber. Debt holding you back? Let Faber's licensed insolvency trustees help you tackle your debt. Book your free consultation at faber.ca or call 1-877-944-1177. Joined now by the man of steel, Eddie Steele. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, Tide. How are you doing? It's good to chat with you when it's not 7:20 a.m., eh?
Yeah, man, I am so awake. I just feel so good about it, you know? I mean, it's fantastic. So I remember going to Clark Stadium as a teenager and watching George McGowan catch balls, and they were a good team then. They had just come out of a long losing streak, but they were a good team by the time I was watching them. And I've gone around the table here with these two jokers, and they remember Riley at quarterback and the mini donuts as their favorite things. What's your first CFL memory that you recall, that you remember vividly?
Oh, to be honest, that's a great question. In an instant, it brings me back driving from North End, Winnipeg, where I grew up, down to the Canada Stadium. It would have been like a Friday, getting tickets with my dad at Safeway, stopping at the Get and Go, which was a gas station, grabbing a bag of seeds because you could bring your own seeds into the game. And sitting in the end zone, watching Milt Stiegel create his legacy. That was absolutely my earliest memories of CFL ball, and smelling the hot dogs and all the sights and scenes. And I get such nostalgia, not just when the CFL starts up, but it's that fall time, Tide.
Yeah.
Really reminds me of high school football come September, October. That really just brings it back home for me.
Yeah, and you got to wear the jacket around high school, and that made you cool, right?
Yeah, the jacket's about all I had, man.
Not true. So anyway, I'm reminiscing because of Clark Stadium, but it's a great venue to watch. I watched great football players from Warren Moon to last year at Commonwealth, and wonderful players who I've enjoyed, and I really treasure those memories. But it's a little more intimate at Clark Stadium. Would the athletes feel like differently about playing there, or is it just one park's just like the other?
No, it's going to certainly be a different feel. And for those fans who have the opportunity to go, it's such a cool thing, because you're never going to get to see a pro CFL, pro NFL, just football in general, this up close and personal. And the word that you said is intimate, and that's exactly how this is going to be. You're going to essentially be right on top of the players. I believe the venue holds 6,500 max, so it's a cute little thing. Now, it brings me back to 2015, actually, because we played in Fort Mac that year in week 1. We did a preseason game up there, and then we actually played in week 1 up in the stadium there. And that was a small venue, too, and it was kind of an oddity.
Who asked that question?
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. And for the fans that have the opportunity, I think that's going to be so cool and such a throwback for some of the vintage fans.
You're amazing, because I said I got Eddie Steele coming up, and somebody had texted in a question about Fort Mac and expansion, and I thought, I'm not going to do it because there's no way I can dovetail this thing to connect the two. And then you did it by talking about Fort Mac. So Josh has a question that has been texted into us.
Hey, Eddie. This is from HD. Says, ask Eddie about CFL expansion to Fort McMurray in Thunder Bay.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good joke of the day. In all reality, you would never see the CFL expand to those markets. I guess, look, you can't say never, but I think it's highly improbable that that's going to happen. Small markets, and there's some other really good potential opportunities east or west across Canada. So I don't think that those would be the ideal CFL markets, in my opinion.
Well, I love the CFL. I'm a big fan, and I remember the first time I ever saw the Atlantic Schooners logo, I got excited because 9 is not an even number, but 10 is, and so I thought, surely to goodness that we could get to 10 and maybe 12, and then I found out that in the Quebec province there's a massive amount of fans who love the Canadian game, the Canadian rules game. So I'm like, we could put one there, one in Atlantic Canada, and then just to make it fun, put one in Victoria, or even you could probably put another one around Vancouver. But the idea of expansion for me is exciting, just in part because there's more games every weekend.
Well, without a question, you're just giving a chance for people to get more eyeballs on some good product, because there's no doubt about it. The CFL is some good, exciting product. Now, it's so interesting, the whole expansion talk, because it takes me way back to 2011. 2010, there was a game way out east, and I got the chance to play in a game in 2011 when I was playing with Hamilton at that time, and we played Calgary, and we played that game in Moncton, and that was so cool. There was such a thriving, passionate fan base out there. They're actually quite rabid because there's a hunger for sport, because obviously there is a lack in pro sports out that way. In the country, the town side, the food, everything is so cool out that way. So I think it would be really neat to get a 10th team far east. If I had a choice, I would say far east, no doubt about it.
All right, let's talk a little bit of Elks. I'm just focusing in on Cody Fajardo and his early training camp based on Declan's conversation, and then in the first game that they won, the quarterback Sean, but not necessarily Fajardo. But you need a veteran guy, and this is early, obviously. Are when you look at this team? I mean, I like a lot of the players that they have. I think they're going to be a contender. I think they'll win a lot more games than they have in recent years. Is quarterback, I'm not going to say an issue, but do you think quarterback might be a fluid position at times this year?
Ooh, very well said. Yeah, fluid. I would agree. I really would agree, because there's no denying that the people within the organization, people around the CFL, have been quite high on Taylor Powell. Now, make no bones about it, this is Cody's team week 1. But this is pro football, Lowetide. We saw this was Trey Ford's team week 1 last year too. And after week 6, Trey Ford was benched and never played again. And the crazier thing about that is the game before Trey got benched, he was perfect. He went 18 of 21, I believe, passing. So this game, it's all about winning. It's sure you're in it for the long haul, but it's all about the here and now. What have you done for me lately? What they have shown in terms of this first preseason outing, if you look at the quarterback numbers, it's honestly outstanding. It's outstanding for preseason play. And complete hats off to Coach Max Simic, the offensive coordinator, for having these guys prepared, because it's not like one guy just went and balled out. No, Taylor Powell went 13 of 14, 160 touchdown and a pick. Zabrowski, 3 of 3, 85. I forget who, Cole Snyder, 5 of 7, 85 and a touchdown. They all threw for touchdowns. They were all efficient. They had 300 plus passing yards, 100 plus rushing yards, 450 total yards of offense. And that's doing it with a rotating cast, a revolving door. So clearly the coaching is working, and what the coaching is getting across to these players, and they're accepting it. And you know what? I'm really optimistic about this season. Again, I get it's preseason. I understand that, Lowetide. But I really, really am optimistic. And I'm telling people, jump on board the train now. And I'm not talking about this season. This team is going to be good for years to come. And honestly, it starts up front with the Hoggies, Lowetide.
Well, and it's funny because the build, when I got into the CFL early 70s, I was mentioned about 1971 when Calgary won the the Grey Cup, and 72 it was Saskatchewan and Hamilton, and Chuck Ely outdueled Ron Lancaster to win that Grey Cup. And at that time, the Eskimos were not great. They weren't a very good team. But by 74 they were. And by 75, they were winners. And that's the great thing about the CFL. You can turn it around quickly. I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned Trey Ford. And I was, as a fan, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to have it. But among the football people that I talked to who actually played the game were like, there's a gap there. There's a learning process. And we know that quarterbacks often don't land successfully with their first organization, be it the NFL or CFL. Tom Wilkinson being an example of that. Does, in your opinion, Trey Ford have or possibly have a future in the Canadian Football League as a quarterback?
He does. He does because he has some freaky intangibles. All he has to do is become a better passer. And I don't think that he has missed the boat on that. I think there's still chance for him to develop as a passer. And to be quite honest, Lowetide, he is in the best possible chance. He's learning behind Bo Levi Mitchell,
right,
who is going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks in CFL history. And he's learning from Scott Milanovic, who is a quarterback whisperer. So if he comes out of this whole Hamilton experience without becoming a better passer, then I will say, no, it's over. The writing's on the wall. But I don't think that's going to be the case because he's such a talented athlete. And usually when you get good athletes with a pretty good head on their shoulder, things can click for them.
Well, it's going to be fun, and I love watching the Canadian Football League. And every year I sort of hope for the Elks and wonder how the Rough Riders get these farm boys who can throw hay bales 50 yards on the offensive line. But I wonder if you've handicapped the league. Is there a team or teams that you feel are going in as the clear best in the league? And how do you think the Elks line up based on what we know yet or right now? Are they like a 500 team, or do you think they can get to 10 wins, or is it going to be a build and then a big year next year?
I'm going to sound like such a homer, such a proud alum, but it'll be 10 plus wins. I'm thinking 11 wins right in there. They'll be one of the best teams in the CFL. They'll be competing with the BC Lions, the Montreal Alouettes. I really think when you look at how this team ended last year, their defense was one of the hottest defenses in the league, if not the best defense in the league. The offense, they've come out, hit the ground running. There's continuity. Having interviewed, 10 to 15 players on Elks Nation, having rubbed shoulders with Ed Hervey, Chris Morris, Mark Killam at many different events throughout the offseason, what they're doing is truly the right thing, Lowetide. The foundation has been set. They're building on top of it, and I think that this team is going to be one of the top team. I'm going to say they'll be a top 3 team in the CFL this year.
Beautiful. Speaking of Elks Nation, Declan says that he can do more push-ups than you and run faster. Is that true?
Man, he lies like a rug.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
You're the one guy who knows what I deal with, man.
Hey, how about this, Lowetide? I'm gonna do Deck dirty like this on the air. How about this? So, we do our Elks Nation every Monday and Friday, right?
Yep.
He tells me on the last one that we had, which would have been this past Friday, he says, hey, by the way, I'm going to Italy for a couple weeks, so you'll be hosting the next 4 shows. I thought, what the? I'm cool to host, brother, but give me a little heads up, a little timing, man. By the way, I'll be in Italy.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? They got a YouTube there. He could probably just do it from there, I mean, the one good thing about him, though, is he's a steady talker, right? Like he and I work together all the time. And sometimes I feel like I got to go to the bathroom. I'll say 3 words. I'll get up. I'll go, come back 20 minutes later. He's still talking.
Yeah, he can let it flow. That's no doubt about it.
Hey, listen, thanks so much for this. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the game on Friday.
Thanks, Tide. You be well, man.
There you go. Eddie Steele. Elks playing Friday night at Clark Stadium. The tickets are really reasonable. And it's limited, obviously, so make sure you get your tickets and head on out there. All right, it's 12:57. We're a little late for the break. On the way, it's Young McCurdy, and we're going to talk to Kevin McCurdy at 1 o'clock today. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. It is time for an update with Donovan.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
This Sports 1440 update is brought to you by Elks Nation. For the best Elks coverage year-round with podcasts and articles, go to elksnation.ca. Player interviews, game analysis, and more. The best green and gold coverage online, elksnation.ca. Eastern Conference Finals action. Habs clashing with the Canes once again in Game 4. Puck drop going at 6 o'clock. Some Memorial Cup action. Everett, they're taking on Kelowna on the diamond. The Marlins are currently up 1-0 on the Jays. Runner on first base and 2 outs for Toronto. The Guardians up 3-1 on the Nats. The Cards have a 1-0 lead on the Brewers. The Phillies clashing with San Diego. Cubs, they're looking to avoid losing 11 games in a row in a matchup with Pittsburgh. The Braves are in Boston. The Orioles host Tampa. And the Yankees take on the Royals. Coming up right after the break, we've got Kevin McCurdy joins us right after the break. I'm Donovan Paulson. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings on new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickups and all remaining 2025 terrain SUVs. WolfGMCBuick.com. That's a great song. I know people get sick of it because it was played so much on the radio, but it's instant summer. Love it.
That was the aim. That was the goal.
Yeah, I mean, how could you be mad at that song? It's just gorgeous. Also, you can sing along and use the word Berube. If he ever gets hired as Oilers coach, you could do a new vocal and have a really nice jingle. All right, we are now joined by our friend Kevin McCurdy. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Alan. How are you doing this week?
I'm most well. I'm very, very well. I'm looking forward to a week where the Oilers get to interview their coach of choice and then hire him. Do you think that's going to happen or maybe not?
I'm not sure that it's going to happen yet. I think the Oilers have every reason to be patient. There's nothing really to force their hand, I guess, until just before the draft. It would be nice to have a coach in place for the draft, but honestly, I don't know how much of an impact that actually makes.
Well, it's also true. I think that, and look, I could be wrong. It's happened before, a time or 1,000, but I think he's such a better, more creative, I'll say, coach than, no disrespect to Berube and others that are out there. I think it's worth waiting. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you look at him, think you wonder if Jared Bednar swings free from Colorado, and people will say that, well, he hasn't gotten any farther than, the second round in 3 seasons. He also won a cup. Sometimes it's just about a change of scenery for guys, right? So I would think that it's a reasonable argument that Bednar is one of the best coaches in the league. And I think most of his players might agree with that statement, but who knows what Colorado as an organization does after their rather rapid exit from the second round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and that him shaking loose would really set the hockey world on fire, and we'll see how that goes, because it'd be a lot of coaches who are currently employed wondering what their organization was going to do. We're well enough into the off season now where, aside from the coach, we can look at the organization and see how they can improve. The thought process for most of the fans is sign Connor Murphy and maybe some other free agents. There's also the idea that Darnell Nurse might get traded, and maybe they do something bigger with Jordan Kyrou or another winger coming in. Any of those ideas appeal to you, all of them, or do you have some ideas about how to improve this team of your own?
Well, I saw the rumor about Jason Dickinson's perceived AAV being in the $5.5 million range, and I'm not sure that that's a price point that I would be paying given the Oilers cap situation. It's not as bad as it was. I think that I've heard enough noise about Nurse being available that there's a pretty good chance that he is in fact available, and we'll see if that transpires into anything. I would say that, if I was to make I hate to call it an educated guess because it isn't, but I would say that San Jose and Detroit and somebody like St. Louis might be in the mix there, or maybe even Toronto if the right deal appears. I'm hesitant to think that Nurse would waive to go to a team that's that far down the standings, but maybe he's just as tired of the media situation as Mitch Marner was in Toronto. So who knows?
I think that some may depend on, let's say Nurse does agree to waive. It may depend on, at least the return might depend on how much the Oilers would be willing to retain, or if they're willing to take back, a significant contract, maybe in another position or just a different style of player or type of player. One of the things that I always want to push back on is that the idea that Nurse has to be added like a sweetener, a first round pick, or
it's ridiculous.
Well, right. This is a guy who is tireless. It takes him about 35 seconds to recover, and he can jump back over the boards. He's the one left defenseman who's a veteran who is not injury prone, at least a little bit on this team. If we're saying Nurse has no value, I'm going to push back hard on that.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think with the cap situation and teams needing to reach the floor, I don't think you're going to have to attach anything to it all. He may be controversial in this market, and he definitely has his haters, but he plays over 20 minutes a night. He plays 82 games a season, basically like clockwork. I like he's probably arguably one of the best skaters in the league as far as pure skating ability. I think that you could make the case that in terms of like power skating, there's not a lot better. Sure, there are guys that may be more agile, walking the line. You think of the Kale McCars or the Hughes or whatever. But Nurse in his own right is a hell of a defenseman, and his contract value has so overshadowed his performance as a D-man over the past several seasons. And yeah, there's some hockey sense stuff that you wish had tuned itself up by game 800, but to say he's worth nothing is I just don't think that's right. I don't think that's accurate in the current state of the league and the state of the salary cap and the direction that teams are going. I think he's going to have value. You might even get a return for it. But I definitely don't think you're going to have to retain, and I definitely don't think that you're going to have to add a sweetener. And I see posts out there saying you're going to have to attach 2 firsts. You're more than halfway through his contract, and there's like what $20 million of real money left to spend on him because everything else has been front loaded already. Come on.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that. It's an argument that needs to we can talk about dealing Nurse. He's in the public eye. He knows the business, but the idea that his value is so low is ridiculous and somewhat contemptible, I believe. So let's talk about Stan Bowman being the general manager of record this year. I think that indicates a few things. Number one, Tristan Jarry likely to come back at least as a number one goaltender. We'll see what they do, to add to it, whether it's Connor Ingram or another player coming in. It seems to me that Trent Frederick, now that he's healthy, would probably likely get a bigger role. And I also think that Ike Howard is a player that, until further notice, we have to assume is going to play top 9 minutes. Do you agree with all of those being the case? And do you think that's a good idea in any or all?
I think Tristan Jarry took a lot of unnecessary hate this year. The sort of general understanding is that he was injured basically the majority of his time here. I also don't think Chris Knobloch treated him particularly fairly in terms of ice time. For example, if I'm the coach, and I'm admittedly not the coach, but if I'm the coach, if I saw the performance that he had in, what was it, game 4,
yes,
there's not a chance in hell that I'm starting anybody else but Tristan Jarry in game 5. I'm sorry, but that's the same thing with Jack Campbell a couple of seasons ago. Like, he showed up, he did what was necessary, and this may be a controversial opinion, but I think he did well enough to earn another start. And that didn't happen because of whatever situation there was between him and the coach.
Well, and it's also like you that's your last chance, Texaco. You've got to make the right decision, and it wasn't. So I think that's one of the reasons why the coach is no longer here.
Absolutely. With regards to Trent Frederick, I think he's going to have a bigger role this year, and I need to see more of him out of that role in order for him to be to consider staying around here. For Ike Howard, I think he'll be on the team, assuming he doesn't get traded in some larger deal this summer, which I'm not sure is a safe assumption. There may be other opportunities out there where they can turn Ike into an NHL ready player now. And that's not to say that he isn't. I am of the opinion that, and this is a flawed opinion, and I'll admit that you can only have so many of the Savoy, Yamamoto, Howard archetypes.
Yeah.
That's fine in the regular season, but once you get into the playoffs, and somebody will turn around and say, "Oh, Carolina's got the dream team, and Montreal's got a couple of small guys," and I think they're in for it with Vegas, whoever comes out of that series. I really do, and that I think needs to be a factor. Your playoff roster has to be part of your targeting when you start the season.
Yeah, that's fair. One of the things that we saw late in the year, not so much in the playoffs due to injuries at center, and that made it a mess, but I liked Doc with Frederick. Frederick, to me, was a different player when he had Doc there. They were like the Rumble brothers, right? Like they'd go in, one would hit, the other would grab the puck, or they'd both hit, and the puck would come free. It felt to me like they were like really a load for the opposition defense, and the Oilers were getting an edge in those areas. I know some of the competition was weaker, but I'd like to see that in the fall.
Yeah, I think I would too. I honestly felt that this decision to split them in the playoffs was kind of inexplicable given how they'd played through from, game 79 through 82. I really liked that combination together. They clearly had the juice going between them, and I think that the best course of action would have been to continue to harness that. The coach felt otherwise, and that's fine, but Trent Frederick disappeared shortly thereafter to the point that he ended up a healthy scratch. So I don't know, man. Like we gotta do something to get him going, because his trade value right now, if you were to look at trading him, isn't that high.
No, it's not. And he's healthy. I mean, if you tracked him over the NHL Edge max foot speed,
yep,
he's back to where he should be. I'm not saying he's got 20 goal hands, but he could score 10 to 15 for this team. I don't think there's much doubt about that. And it's not like he's 35. As we look forward now, Kevin, there's the final to come. And I'll admit that I'm cheering like hell for Taylor Hall to win this thing. And we'll see, how Montreal and Carolina match up here for the remaining part of their semifinal. But one thing that I think that we can look at, and I've suggested this in the past week or so, from 2015 to say 2019, the Oilers did add. They already had Leon. They added McDavid. They added Evan Bouchard. They were drafting pretty well, and they were adding to the group. And I'll give them credit. They didn't win a Stanley, but they were doing a lot of good things. However, they traded a lot of picks away, and I think we're seeing with Montreal and what they've done since like 2022, when they kept a lot of those picks, and when they did trade them, they traded for younger players, not veterans. You can see the value of that, because those Montreal Canadian players who are playing well now are signed, they're young, and they're going to be around through the end of the decade and beyond. That's the right way to move to build a team, right? Like you're not giving up young assets when you are also young.
Yeah, I would tend to agree to an extent. There is some value in veteran leadership, and you need to have some of that element on your squad. But I also think that lighting all of your picks on fire to chase veterans, veterans to bring back their glory days in some cases is misguided. This is going to be a problem for the Oilers in their window. I think they need to continue to get younger. I think Stan's made some good steps on that front. However beleaguered Stan Bowman is at the moment. I think they've gotten younger. I think they will continue to get younger, and I think they need to harness that youth, because clock's ticking, and they need to get some of these guys playing with significant minutes and get them some real ice time and give them the opportunity to succeed. Because the one thing that seems to elude our up and coming elite talent is opportunity, and Savoy earned his this year, but we can't really say the same for Ike Howard. And other people that have been in the organization over the past several years.
Thanks for this. Appreciate it very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCurdy. And great summary. I liked a lot of the points that he made. He didn't go all the way to agreeing with me on how the Habs have been built. But, the fact is the Oilers have to win a deal this year. They just do. They have to win a deal. I've got them in my article at The Athletic today, making an offer sheet. It involves a second-round pick and about $4.5 million. It's mid-level, but it makes sense based on how much they need more youth in this lineup and players to hang around for a while. We'll see how it goes. But there are options out there and available. We are getting a better picture. I think we can summarize right now that Nurse is in play, that Ike Howard will be here. The expectation is you're going to see more of Tristan Jarry and maybe Trent Frederick in the fall. And that's all because Stan Bowman is returning. And the new coach will have input on all of those things. But always remember, you kids out there, when a general manager acquires a player, the expectation is that player is going to be part of the solution. And you should keep that in mind, especially if you're the coach of the team when the general manager brings those players in. All right. On the way, we got lots of comments from you over the last while about Trey Ford, about the CFL, about the Edmonton Oilers. And don't forget, we have Donovan Nations coming up at 1:40. Going to talk a little round ball. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk. Big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Do you have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Hey, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis, then mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
If you're passionate about golf, you're in for a golfer's dream at the Quarry. Challenge and natural beauty come together across 27 holes every golfer should experience. Book now. Get geared up at the Pro Shop and start swinging at the Quarry. Don't forget the Granite Grill Restaurant, an unforgettable top-tier venue to host all your events. For rental details or to book your tee time, contact the Quarry today. Edmonton's most popular golf and event venue. Call 477-THE-Q and visit thequarryedmonton.com.
To the guy who said, I'll marinate the chicken, then forgot. Hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. We've got you covered with a variety of freshly prepared kebabs, ranging from chicken to beef and pork. They even come pre-marinated, so all that's left is pretending you made it yourself. And they're on sale this week. For more great summer deals, check our flyer at safeway.ca. Variety may vary by store. See flyer for details.
That's the way.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings on right now at wolfgmcbuick.com. We're about 20 minutes away from dominations as the Jays go up by one. Who was that who hit the home run?
Kazuma Okamoto.
Nice. How many does he have now?
I think that's 11.
Yeah. The White Sox rookie has like 19.
Yeah, he's hammering the ball, but look at his strikeout totals.
Oh no, I mean, you don't even look at that category.
It's blasphemous how much he strikes out.
Sometimes we have lots of guests on and lots of talk on, and we don't get to texts that are really valuable. But we've had a lot today, and we've got a little bit of free time here. So why don't we read some, and then we can react to what people are saying.
Okay, so we'll start it off from the earlier texts of the day, and then get more into the later ones. But so this came in two versions of the same text. Hey boys, if Cassidy was sure the Oilers were going to pay him $4.5 million or more, could he not just terminate his contract with Vegas?
I think that based on what we know about the NHL, I think that Pierre LeBrun wrote about this in The Athletic. The Golden Knights have him under contract, and legally, I don't know if every jurisdiction agrees with this, they have a right to retain him. I don't know that he has the right to. He would maybe have to sue for the right. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't have the right. Yeah. So the thing is about if he could have, I'm sure he would have already.
Yeah,
that's the point that I guess not a lot of people are talking about is if he could have just backed out of it, I'm sure he would have and just said, you know what, whatever, I'm going to get the same amount of money from Edmonton anyways. Who cares?
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation is it all depends on the language in the contract and if there is that available option for him, which clearly there isn't that available option.
Well, if there was, as you say, we probably would know about it by now.
Exactly, right? So then we'll get into this text from Kenneth here. There's going to be some disagreements here from this text, but why would a team trade good picks for Nurse? The team taking Nurse would want more than to just take his contract.
No,
basically thinks needs to be a sweetener.
There's just no way that's true. The cap has gone up. I think we all agree that Nurse's contract is too much. He's overpaid for what he brings. However, he brings a lot. He brings the ability to play tirelessly. He can play half the game, basically. And that at times is important when other players are injured. When he is paired with a veteran defenseman, as we saw with Connor Murphy, and some young players like Troy Stetcher, he is effective. There is some chaos and drama in his game that makes him less valuable than he would be at the outer marker if he were more mindful of the situation. Those things are true of Nurse and a lot of other players. But the fact that some people believe that you couldn't, give him away, you'd have to add to give him away, I just reject soundly. And I don't think that, I think that there was a time when the cap was so tight where you could say, man, I don't know that he is tradable. That is not the case now. And he is not eroded in terms of his foot speed and his character or his ability. Now, I think a manager out there probably thinks we can bring this guy in and we can put him with the right partner and we can have a great top four pairing for a long time.
I'll do this.
So, right, Pittsburgh Penguins. And, we've been talking with Kevin McCurdy about San Jose, Detroit, other teams. There are teams that would take him, I think, and I think in the system where less was asked of him, I think that he would be, I think there's a real good chance the Oilers trade him. And then with his new team in a new city, he looks a lot more effective based on what their ask is of him.
My problem with all this Nurse trade talk is I think people are forgetting that he still has control of where he goes.
Yeah.
Right? Like he has to agree to this. So if you're Darnell Nurse, why the hell would you waive to go to St. Louis? Why the hell would you waive to go to Detroit? Why would you waive to go to Toronto? Why would you waive to go to so many of these different places? San Jose, I could see. That's the one I think you can make an argument
Toronto's
for.
close to home, though, right? Hamilton's home.
Yeah, but then why don't we talk more about Bruce Cassidy maybe going home?
Well, I reject that because I don't like it.
Right? So, you can talk about the Toronto angle, but realistically, if he has such a problem here, it's going to be amplified in Toronto.
Great point.
That media market, and not to poo-poo Kevin's concept of maybe he's sick of the media in Edmonton. If he's sick of media in Edmonton, what do you think he's going to feel in Toronto? He's going to get cooked alive. So, yeah, I don't know about that one, but
can you imagine Simmons? I called 17 general managers.
Here's another one. This one's going to get people fired up from CB Radio Guy. This is not my opinion. Just don't shoot the messenger. The best thing I believe now that could happen to the Edmonton Oilers is Connor McDavid gets traded. Leon is capable of winning with this team on his own, and in my opinion, is more productive in the playoffs. We could have a more balanced team with McDavid gone. 2 superstars on one team doesn't win you a Stanley Cup.
Well,
Don't
I mean,
shoot the messenger.
The Oilers traded Gretzky and then won 2 years later. So I think that was a deeper team. And I just wonder, if you're a team in the National Hockey League and you're trying to trade for Connor McDavid, you want to keep all the pieces that you already have, because the idea that you're going to be able to go and win a Stanley Cup when you give up your best young player and another veteran who has money attached, probably unwise. That's, a little bit what LA did, although they didn't give up enough. And I think that the case would be the same here. I think you'd get one good young player, one veteran player, and that would not be enough. For me, I think Daryl Cates has to find a way to get him signed. There's no good news after McDavid leaving.
Yeah, no, there is absolutely no good news. And you can talk about, Leon's under contract. What's stopping Leon from asking out if Connor McDavid?
Oh, yeah, and Bouchard too, right?
Right? Like, that's just the reality of the situation.
And then you're rebuilding. What's to stop Leon from asking out if you trade Connor McDavid? I'm just throwing that out there. Like, this is makes sense.
Purely hypothetical because Stevie had that opinion. But, man, like, I don't know. If Connor McDavid's gone, I think everything gets blown up from there. This one coming in from Hammer. Coffee is just a guy who talks, has zero idea how to fix things.
Oh, I don't know. The results say different, Like it's nobody's more surprised than me. I saw Coffee play. It is astounding to me that he is this responsible defensively after watching him play for 20 years or 21 years. But he is that. He's clearly a bright guy, and he can talk to people and communicate. I absolutely believe that he has helped this team defensively in the last 3 years. And it would be very, very difficult for you to talk me out of that based on what I saw. His defensemen take more time, take more care. It was a chaotic situation. They were stretch passing to the moon all last year. It only improved when he got here, and I think they would have been a better team with him on in the coaching staff the entire year. I believe that to be true.
This is more of a funny one because it made me chuckle real good. This is from Jay. I like when Donovan is on the show. He has that cocky jock talk voice that makes you want to reach through the speaker and choke him out when he says something inflammatory, and then text it back unironically.
Well, I think that there's I think to be in sports radio or any talk radio, you have to have a little bit of an edge. And we all have a certain style. And I think that Josh has a really funny little cynical acid tonguey thing going that is really, I think is funny and informational.
Interesting way of calling me quick, but all right.
Sure. I couldn't say something nice about you. I had to couch it.
Sure.
And Donovan is like never met an opinion he didn't, feel contrary about, but that's good too, and I'm here just being a gentleman. That's all it is.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Just a real stand-up guy over there. You don't give us the finger as we're walking out of the show.
That was private.
You don't. There's so many things you guys don't see behind the scenes that this guy's just an absolute menace. Don't buy this nice old man act. He is secretly a massive scumbag.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
It's true, but you didn't have to say it. Did you see? I was hoping you guys would see what I tweeted out this morning. I'm going to retweet it. Okay. It's from Mario Newfall. And I say, this is me every day. Seriously, coworkers in chairs. I'm tweeting it now. This is like, sometimes you recognize yourself in the wild. And this is totally me.
the dog. I saw that today without the quote tweet.
Right.
I was just like, he actively, like the dog actively starts hitting over the cones,
Sure.
like intention, like jumping into them.
But that's what I would do. Somebody would put something in the aisle and think nobody will be idiot enough to knock it over. I'll knock it over.
Or, oh, Tide, you should watch Ted Lasso. No,
I don't do.
You should do this. No,
I don't do things that people tell me to do. The best you can hope for is say, I watch this. Maybe if you have an opportunity on a night when there's nothing going on, you could watch that. It's just an idea. I don't say it
I
as
said
a.
you should. Like I wasn't saying you have to watch. I'm gonna get Karen to tape your eyes open and
Well,
it's
possible I took it the wrong way,
you.
but I don't think I ever have.
You make it sound like when people ask you if you're gonna watch something or say, oh, you should watch that you're gonna get Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
Clockwork Oranged.
Yes.
Which is not what's gonna happen.
Well, I'm ready for it.
Weird.
Other texts that have come in here. Hey, Lowetide, is Alec Regula in the opening lineup as a cheaper replacement for Connor Murphy?
No, they're going to get Murphy. I don't know what's going to happen with that second pairing, but you could like the problem is that like I like Damian Carfagna, but he's not played in the NHL. You can't count on him. I like Spencer Stastny, but he's not a pure third pairing guy who could move up like Kulak, right? So of the three left defensemen they have now, they need to have two of them. If you're going to trade Nurse, then you have to move Wallman up and count on him. But then because as Donovan mentioned, you've got two not injury prone, but veteran guys who are often injured in Ekholm and Wallman. You need that third guy to be able to step up, and that was Kulak. So I don't know what they do. If they do deal Nurse, maybe they're going to deal Nurse for another left-handed defenseman who fits their plan more or is less expensive. Is Ferraro free agent?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I'm out on Mario Ferraro.
Yeah, no, I
too much. You want to talk about Darnell Nurse chaos?
No.
Mario Ferraro is not quite the chaos giraffe of Tyler Myers, but there's some chaos in that game.
Yeah, and you can't if they're going to move around the deck chairs on the heart of this team, and Nurse is part of the heart of this team, then they have to do it in an effort to improve the areas they need to be addressed. And one of them is just I'm not even talking about defense. I'm just talking about moving the puck correctly and under control. And they need that badly. And we'll see if they get it.
Here's one coming in to change topics a little bit. LT with the Jays floating around the wild card bubble. Lots of injuries, but not a World Series contender, in my opinion. Gausman and Varsho are free agents after this season. You could get an absolute haul for those guys. So basically, if they go just about 500 in the next month or so, do you trade those guys no matter what?
I'd like to sign Gausman and Varsho, but Gausman, if you can't, then maybe you think about it. But the only way I would trade him is if a stud, like I'm talking about a real stud young pitcher, is coming back, a really, really good one. Because Gausman is in a world where every pitcher gets hurt every day, he has been money, and he pitches a lot, long, deep into games. He can be down 5-0 after one, and he'll pitch 9. And he saves everything. He saves the bullpen when they're playing crappy. Often they're on a 5-game losing streak. They come back, or 4-game losing streak. They come back, and he pitches well enough to win. I think he is the ace of the staff. And when you're trading that, you better get something real back. We'll see.
The thing for me about trading, if you're thinking about trading, I would be more hesitant on Gausman. I know he's 35, and I know that you're probably going to have to give him a little bit too much term because of how friendly his deal turned out to be with the Jays. Like that 5 years and $115 million, that might have been the best deal the Jays have ever signed, to be honest. Kevin Gausman's just so durable. He's done so much for this franchise. I want to have him back. I want to have him retire as a Toronto Blue Jay. That's just how highly I personally think of Kevin Gausman. When I go to Toronto, I am buying a Kevin Gausman jersey. I'm just throwing that out there, assuming he is still on this team come the beginning of August. But I would trade Dalton Varsho in a heartbeat if you're out of it, because I think there's no better time than to kind of capitalize on his value. This is a premier defensive center fielder. This is a guy who can give you a ton of offense from the center field position, which is a barren wasteland.
Yeah.
If you really look about the scheme of the league. So long story short, Gausman, I'm keeping him no matter what. And Varsho, if you're out of it, I trade him.
Now let me throw this out there. Okay. My one buddy who's a Jays fan keeps asking me about the Angels. Oh, how's Mike Trout doing? How's this doing? Whatever. Would the Jays trade for Mike Trout? And
if they were in it,
what would they give up? Mike Trout might put you back in it. That guy is an absolute dog.
The problem with Trout, though, is his contract.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he still hasn't been traded.
That puppy is huge.
Well, we could send them.
gigantic.
You could send them Jimenez and.
Oh, please. Please.
Don't, what? No, you cannot trade your platinum Glover shortstop.
Ernie
on the
Clement can
defensive
play
side.
shortstop. Ernie Clement's a Gold Glove. He didn't win it, but he's a Gold Glove caliber utility man. He can play shortstop in a heartbeat. I know it's.
Who the hell do you have playing second?
Anybody. Lenny
Jimenez.
Sosa can play second. For
You
all I
hate Lenny
care.
and Sosa.
I hate Lenny and Sosa, but Andres Jimenez is going to get paid $23 million next year to be
220.
35%, 40% worse than league average with the bat. Like, I don't care how good your defense is if you literally can't hit a beach ball.
Well, maybe he's nervous.
Yes, that's what I always say. Maybe he's nervous. Maybe you talking the way you do is making him nervous. Why don't you say something nice once in a while?
Andres Jimenez is the perfect player if your team is a World Series contender and you can just hit him 9 every game. But the reality of it is for me, the Jays have too many role players who just don't hit the ball well enough to have Andres Jimenez. And his contract is gigantic.
He was on the team last year, hit 9, had 2 home runs against the Mariners.
Hey, you ever want to?
He has come up with some really clutch hits. I'll say that. Like he's clutch.
If you ever want to make Donovan mad, say 2 words.
Jeff Hoffman.
No.
Well, that does, yeah.
Gleyber Torres to play second base. It just drives him wild.
It's more than 2 words.
Gleyber Torres actually had a great year last year. I'll give him full credit for that.
Injured this year, though.
Injured this year, yeah. Like, I mean, Andres Jimenez makes me super. There's a lot of players in sports that make me angry.
Andres Jimenez
Mm.
is the Detroit Red Wings defense of Major League Baseball.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes. And the funny thing of it was, I remember that when they made that move, they were talking up of, oh, we think we can get so much more out of this bat. We think we can get so much more. Guys, where is that?
I think that
Everybody else has improved with the stick after they changed their hitting coach.
I know you're going to get a Gosman jersey, but I think we should get you a Hoffman Blue Jays.
That would be the ultimate prank. That would be such a funny one. I would definitely wear that too. Just for fun. I have no problem wearing the jersey of someone that I hate, but that would be a good one.
If we get it for him before he goes to Toronto,
Yeah.
maybe he can get it signed.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be funny. Hey, I hate you, but will you sign my jersey?
Please get off my baseball team.
That's right.
But please sign my jersey.
The only reason I have this is because I'm thinking after I buy anything, you get traded, and that's what happens. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. Okay, I think we're done. Those are good comments, by the way, and questions. Well done, everybody. We appreciate you.
We made them all up.
I'm sure that's true. On the way, it's Donovan Nations, and I believe Josh is going to take the floor and talk about the NBA final to come and what we might see from Oklahoma City in the next little while as the Knicks are home and dry and waiting. Lowdown with Lowetide brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
The Edmonton Riverhawks return Friday. Join the best party in the River Valley with 27 theme nights like Paws in the Park, Star Wars, and Margaritaville. Don't miss opening weekend. Tickets start at $21 at tickets@gohawks.ca.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
The Brick is thrilled to introduce the new exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture. Each piece features premium Shacklopedic memory foam for exceptional comfort, made to be lived in and loved for years. Each piece is built on a strong hardwood frame, offering sturdy comfort day after day. Head to any Brick location and snap a photo with Shaquille O'Neal. A life-size Shaq is waiting in store. Scan the QR code and upload your pic for a chance to win one of 4 Shaquille O'Neal home pieces exclusively at The Brick, saving you more.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Alberta is growing, but our highways are crumbling. Are you tired of the rough ride? In the last 15 years, our population has grown with hundreds of thousands more cars and trucks on our highways. Today, more than 15% of Alberta's highways are in poor condition. Cutting highway maintenance doesn't save money. It makes repairs more expensive. Don't let the government ignore the problem. Your MLA works for you. Tell them to fix our roads. Visit fixourroads.com for more information.
A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Huge May savings right now at wolfgmcbuick.com. You know, sometimes timing in life isn't great. It's the top of the 8th inning. Toronto up 2-1 against Miami Marlins. And Varland is on the mound. And that sets up the 9th with Hoffman on the mound, but we'll be off the air. And we won't be able to...
Hoffman was on the mound in the 6th, I think.
Oh, you're kidding.
Or 7th, yeah.
Who's the closer today?
Probably Varland. I bet he's doing both.
Why?
Because he has a sub-1 ERA.
Because Louis Varland is the man?
No.
Louis Varland is him?
So Hoffman is in, if he's in middle relief now, he doesn't even handle the 8th.
Thank God.
This is bad. If Varland's your closer, don't be pitching him 2 innings.
Well, I don't actually know who they're going to bring out here.
Well, here we go.
I think Taylor Rogers was warming up, and I don't know if they sat him down. Obviously, we're working, so we don't have eyes on the game at all times. But
yeah, that's fair. Speak for yourself.
They're just going to bring in a position player to do it.
It's time for Donovan Nations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions. Divorce can be difficult. We can help you make the road back to a new life easier. Fairwaydivorce.com. And I think we're talking round ball.
You would be correct by that. Judging by the song that was played going into this, feel pretty confident that is what we're doing. I can't even double check with Donovan. He's leaving.
He's leaving. He's gone.
Round ball it is. Round ball it is. Yeah, I'll do my best to do my Declan Krueger impersonation here. Shout out to the Knicks, first of all. New York City is going to explode, burn down. There was talk on Twitter of New Yorkers saying that they might uproot the Statue of Liberty and carry it through the streets of New York if they win the finals. Quite frankly, I think no matter what happens, the city of New York is going to be an absolute fustercluck.
You said it right.
I know.
Yeah.
Around if they lose, win a game, lose a quarter, all these things like it.
Would they be asking Vancouver fans how to celebrate a loss?
No, you know what? Honestly, I think they'd be able to do it themselves.
Okay.
They are
all right.
They are absolutely just wild after these games. Like the streets are filled with people. I see the street interviews and everything. Like there's people as far as the eye can see. I don't think they're going to have any trouble, taking down lampposts and lighting cars on fire and stuff. No matter what happens, good or bad. I think the outcome is the exact same for the city of New York. It's going to be something that there's New York Knicks fans saying you should call in the National Guard because the NYPD won't be able to stop what's going to happen.
Half an hour. So,
also, but like the New York Knicks, all in all, through the entirety of the playoffs so far, very, very, very good. They have a plus 19.4 point average point differential this postseason. That's the largest by a team entering the NBA Finals in NBA playoff history since the 2017 Golden State Warriors, who had a mark of 16.3. So that 2017 Warriors team had Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, arguably the greatest team ever assembled. And the Knicks just outscored them like nobody's business. They averaged 36.5 points in closeout games this year. Like the Knicks are as advertised. Do I still think they have a chance in the NBA Finals? I genuinely, I don't. I think they have some serious defensive deficiencies in their number one guy in Jalen Brunson. He's also a smaller guard. Like it's very hard for a smaller guard to be the 1A on a championship team, exception being Steph Curry. I caveat all with this with I'm a guy behind a microphone. I'm probably wrong. And I'd be happy to be wrong.
Well, that's why you're on the show, Josh.
Exactly.
Yes.
In a year,
we
I
have
might
a
be
tradition
right.
to uphold.
Yes. And so would I be surprised to see the series go 6? No. But I don't think it would go 7 in favor of the Knicks. I don't think it would go 6 in favor of the Knicks. I just think there's two absolute buzzsaws coming out of the West that would tear through the New York Knicks. They had the number 4 ranked offense this year. They would go up against the other number 1 or number 2 ranked defense in the NBA through the regular season. And so through the Western Conference yesterday, a lot of talking about it. A lot of grinding. Last night there was some pretty exciting, and that's the truth. Williams, Yen, not Jay Dunn. He's also good, but not an all NBA guy. Ran into a Spurs player and fell backwards and it fell on the Spurs. And then there's just so much other stuff like that where with a they're the end of the really, really there's a lot of people that are taking away from the series, only taking you away from the series. And I guess that's fair. But I think there's a lot of people that are like, this is really taken away from the enjoyment.
Holmgren working inside with Harper. Push. Caruso. San Antonio.
skewed in a direction. But yeah.
And you do the Raptors draft in the first round?
They do have a first round pick this year.
Because I like their drafts. They usually do pretty well.
Oh yeah. Their scouting and development department are like second to none, really, like the Spurs, in my opinion. But they do a really good job of pumping up who they draft.
Right. There you go. All right. So I think that's a wrap. We've done just about everything. Jason Krueger on the way. Obviously, National Hockey League continues. Vegas is through. Carolina and Montreal going to be a wonderful series from here. You get the feeling that Carolina has found the formula. I mean, they didn't allow a shot the last 35 minutes of game number 3. So that probably is what you should look for tonight. And then Montreal trying to break out and get some very good chances and win the game to make it the best of 3, which is going to be wild times. Vegas gets a rest. Maybe they could check their email. Krueger is on the way. Please enjoy your afternoon.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
This Sports 1440 update is brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Eastern Conference final action. The Habs clashing with the Canes, game 4. Puck drop going at 6. Mem Cup. Everett clashing with Kelowna on the diamond. The Jays up 2-1 on the Miami Marlins. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, no runners on for Toronto. Other MLB action, the Phillies clash with San Diego. The Cubs look to avoid losing 11 games in a row in their matchup with Pittsburgh. The Braves are in Boston. The Orioles host Tampa, and the Yankees take on the Royals. Coming up next, it is the Jason Krueger Show. I'm Donovan Paulson. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray